All right, we are once again here at the Bivy Brink. I'm joined by my amazing co-host Eric, as always. I'm Tim. Eric, it's the final 2 days on the summit,
Ah,
and I'm sad to hear it's only 2 more days until we get to this finale too.
mm-hmm.
But I have to ask the question I always ask Eric: how you doing?
Whoo, Tim. I'm doing well. This was my first day back to work today, so in a
Mhm.
minute. And so it was needed. I needed to get back into the flow of things. So it was a good day, a productive day, I will say. So I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. I'm ready to dive into this, penultimate episode of
Mhm.
the summit and share all of my good thoughts with you, my equally as amazing co-host,
Oh,
which this wouldn't be possible without. So
oh, thank you, thank you. I'm excited. You know, this was a good episode.
it was good.
This was good. Like
Mhm.
really good. It feels like that drawing that you see on social media where it's like the horse at the different stages, and it's like, okay, in the middle it was a little rough when they
It was a
voted
little
out
rough.
some of our faves,
Mhm.
horse was like kindergarten crayon grabbing it with your whole hand kind of drawing, and but now we're at like the I ain't got no pen in front of me, so I'm just gonna use this lip
Come on,
chat. But it's just
chapstick.
like, like very much precise,
Yeah.
very much given Da Vinci, right?
I don't
Right?
think Da Vinci was a drawer. I
DiCaprio.
would say
No, wait,
Michelangelo or something.
Michelangelo, yes. Michelangelo.
Da
Starry
Vinci, the
Night.
Da Vinci
No, that
Code.
was somebody else.
Wait, because I gotta find out who Da Vinci was now.
Da Vinci.
I have to
Yeah, I
look
think
this
no,
one
he
up.
invented stuff. He was the machine guy,
Okay,
actually. I take it back now that I think about it. But
because
a great episode.
it was a good episode, Tim. It really was. And this was my first time. I don't know if the other ones was like this, but I noticed this one was like an actual regular timed
Yeah.
episode. Because I was like, we already getting down to the vote. Normally they take forever to get to this. Oh, it's only 42 minutes. Was the other ones like this? The other two?
I don't think so. I think this was the first short episode of the season. Part of me wants to think it's
Hmm.
because of like holidays and stuff, and maybe they just
Mhm.
shortened it because it's like, it's already late at night, it's
Mhm.
already, the day
And it's
before
only five
holiday. So
people,
it's
four
like,
people, five people left.
yeah, yeah, and it's only 5 people left. It looked like next episode is gonna be probably your normal length again, just because it's
Mhm.
it's gonna have a jury and all of that in there as well. So who knows how that'll go. But yeah, it was definitely short. I was surprised too when I watched it back on my
Mhm.
phone. I'm like, oh, we're at checkpoint. Oh, we're voting. So yeah. Oh, I'm not hating though. If it ain't nothing to put in that place, it ain't nothing to put in that place.
Yeah, yeah. Hmm. But yeah, I mean, starting this episode off, like I was interested to kind of
Mhm.
see what happened when they got flown off because of that weather.
Mm,
They lost the
mhm,
day.
mhm.
But it
The
didn't
sweater
stop them.
weather.
Sweat.
It,
It
it,
did not
it,
stop them though, because they made it to that check.
yeah.
But
That was frightening to see again, like them be evacuated off of that mountain. But again, like you said, we do see them come back, and
mhm.
I'm happy with that. I'm glad they got a chance to come back. I wonder how much time it took from them, or if they just like kind of paused the timer. It's like, okay, this is
Mm,
out of everybody control, so let's
yeah.
just like keep it pushing.
I doubt it.
Um,
Knowing Manu, that's y'all fault. Y'all should have made it here a day earlier. If y'all would have been moving faster earlier in the game, you wouldn't have to worry about making up. But because they did say they had to make up that time because they lost the day, so I think they
true,
they did lose a day. It wasn't that they can, because if you
true.
remember a few
Hmm.
episodes back when the snowstorm had blocked their view and they couldn't see, they had to just hold up in a tent, and they lost time too.
Yeah.
So
Listen, Manu said we're on a tight schedule. Later in the episode, he's like, both of y'all come sit down. It's time to
they did.
vote. You cannot have 5 minutes and none
No
of that.
5 minutes.
But let's go, I guess, straight to the beginning. Like one thing that stood out to me at the very beginning is this challenge that they have, or obstacle, where they have to essentially go straight up, defy gravity.
Mhm.
When I heard this, to quote them on the show, it's like, in order to pass, you must defy gravity. In my little head, I have a
Mhm.
friend, his name is Jimmy, who is certainly not Timmy, right? Who is allegedly in the middle of watching Wicked, a
Oh,
bootleg
weird.
version,
Mm.
in his apartment,
Hmm.
allegedly, right? And I've heard people talk about defying gravity just in social media in general. So I'm like, that was great timing, you
Gravity.
know, great timing.
It was. I caught that tell. I was like, oh, not the Wicked reference, even though they did this before it came out, but like,
Listen,
hey, that was kind of good.
a gay intern did that. But no.
Screaming.
Yes. But from this challenge, one thing that stood out to me is we really see Theron and Pumpkin have their end game moment. Theron
Hmm.
is like, he want to have two queer black people sitting at the summit at the end.
Hmm.
And I felt that. Like,
Yeah.
I felt that in my heart, because it's like, that's real.
Hmm.
As somebody who myself is queer and black and knows like the unique experiences of what that is like in the world, and to have the opportunity to go so far in a game with somebody else who I feel close to or am getting close to, on top
Hmm.
of like somebody who, like, at a core level, without me saying something, can understand what that's
Hmm.
like.
Yeah,
And
it's
it's like,
powerful.
maybe the summit is the friends that we made along the way, because I think that is a great bond that's had and made.
And I thought it was interesting because it made it seem like, well, the way Theron said it was like they just became close a couple days ago. We've been on this
Mm,
trek for 13 days, and so they just got close 2 days ago, which is crazy because if you look at over the episodes, they made it seem like they were always kind of like in a group, always together.
mhm,
But again, I guess perception is everything, because what may be close to one person may not necessarily be close to another person. And
mhm.
so that's making me think that editing just had us believe that certain people were closer than to others, than not. Because I was like,
Yeah,
oh, the end of the game is tomorrow. Y'all just got close. I thought y'all
right.
been working together.
Mine said 2 days left. I'm thinking it's over with. Well, I'm with my people now, but low
Mhm.
key, part of me feels like they was already cool, and it's like, okay, well, we saw, when Pumpkin was close to another player, and that other player got voted out of nowhere, because it's like, oh, Jeff and Pumpkin a little too close. It's like, all
Mhm.
right,
They kind
I'm
of
gonna
like,
tell
okay,
him.
let's just
I'm
you
just
already
saying,
know.
you know, maybe Thera was like, okay, girl, you do you. I'm gonna do me.
Yeah.
This is my side of the group line. This
Mhm.
is
And
your
you
side of the group
stay on that,
line.
girl. We'll meet you at the end. I'll
Mhm.
meet you at the summit, girl.
Oh, okay, and they there,
they
and they
they
there.
there. They
Mhm.
are. But no, I totally feel that too, because I was just like, and then where did this relationship with Nick come from all of a sudden too? And again, they barely showed this, but now Nick is your day one, and really, even outside of Pumpkin, I thought Becky Lee was your girl because y'all was like this. I thought Becky
Yeah,
Lee and him was like that.
y- yeah, me too. I really did not see Nick come into the picture. I thought it was Dusty at one point, and then it's
Right.
like, it's confusing. I don't know. I don't
And then
know.
all of a sudden, now you ain't have no relationship with Dusty, and Nick is your best friend. And Jeannie too. Why? When
Yeah,
did you
see,
become
it's
close
like,
to Jeannie?
I feel like the only consistent relationship that Theron had in the show was Theron's relationship with his fear of heights. Was
Literally
very
the only
consistent,
consistency.
and no shade, because I'm scared of heights too, but that was consistent. That's what we saw all the way through.
Yes. So I'm glad I wasn't the only one confused. I'm glad you was confused too, because I'm like, where are we getting these relationships from?
Mhm.
Because Jeannie is crazy. Because I ain't seen y'all talk more than 2 seconds. And granted, I wasn't out there, so I really don't know how long y'all was talking. But based on
Mhm.
what we saw in the edit, I ain't see it. That was shocking to me, honestly.
Yeah.
And then
It's
you had
mhm.
Miss. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, you're saying?
I love Miss Becky Lee because now all of a sudden she just punkin, and that's just her girl. That's her ace boom, whatever. And Road Dog, ride or die. But it's like, sis, you've been making all these major plans with Nick.
Mm-hmm.
So
She
how is
said it
Punky?
herself.
Hello, like how is Punky supposed to be your girl, but you wasn't making major plans with her? Because a lot of these big moves you was making was taking to her allies
Mm,
and helping Nick.
yeah,
And we're gonna get to it. I ain't gonna keep going. Let's get back to this challenge because I
true.
got a lot to
Dusty,
say.
Amy,
Jeff,
back to back. Jeff,
lit
you know.
like
And speaking of allies, Poe Genie, they let Genie be last again to do this obstacle by herself. I'm like, y'all, we know it's Genie, but like, y'all, come on there. Y'all gotta make her go last again,
put that girl in the
but
middle and move her alone.
or something. But then they say something that is interesting to me. Everybody's talking about final two or top
Right.
two.
Because who
I'm
told
like,
y'all that?
right, because they didn't tell us that. Y'all must know something we don't. I mean, y'all do know
Right.
something we don't, but
They
it's
know
like
something we don't. There's something that we don't know.
because was not clear. We just
My
thought
final
I was.
two.
Mhm.
What?
I personally thought, you just get to the end of the mountain, you see the
Mm-hmm.
top, you're like, this is nice. This is
Yeah.
a nice view, and you win the money and you go home.
Yeah.
But apparently, it's something a little more complicated than that,
Right.
allegedly.
I actually kind of like what they did. We'll talk about it. Was
Mm-hmm.
because I saw the
Mm-hmm.
previews. I don't know. You saw the previews?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, we'll talk
Well,
about
at the end, yeah,
it.
we're gonna
Yes.
talk about it.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, outside of that, though, I think
The t-
they immediately go straight to another obstacle, if I'm not mistaken. Like from the vertical, they got to
yeah,
go
they went
like
to the vertical.
horizontal,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like that was cute. That was cool. Little challenge. The only thing I would say from that is like when Pumpkin is going across and she's saying like, you know, um, Manny, Mama, Tamika. She's saying the
Okay,
names of like,
Mary, come on. Yes.
okay, married Mama Tamika. She's saying these names. She got her eyes closed. She pulling that rope. And I went up to Rhode Island for Friendsgiving, right? Follow me. And that's a 6-hour drive that turned to a 10-hour drive. So the only thing I was thinking in my head that was keep pushing me down that road, yams, macaroni and cheese, turkey. So it's like I feel her. Sometimes you gotta tap into, what you really love. And for me, it's
Tim, I
food.
refuse to do this with you. Not, not, I can see. I just dropped
Seriously.
my phone. I can see. Yes, mac and cheese.
Cornbread, or let me be country for a second. Cornbread.
Come on,
Um,
cornbread.
all of that, so
Collard greens, greens, tomatoes.
mm,
Yeah, ram. Oh my goodness, that's hilarious. I love that. Was a nice parallel. That really was.
mhm.
That was good. But you got to do what you got to do, Tim, to get across and
Yeah,
to make it. You really do.
you do. You
You
do.
definitely do.
Only other thing is like I saw Becky Lee's little title card pop up, and I don't think maybe I wasn't paying attention this entire time, but I'm like, when was Becky Lee a construction manager? I thought she was a a princess at a theme park. Literally. I mean, she mentioned that at the very beginning, but I guess I just was never paying attention to
It's
that
always
because
said
I'm like,
construction.
if you're a construction manager, then she never said she was afraid of heights, but it's like you definitely can't be afraid of heights. You're not up there with the people doing the constructing, but it's
Mhm.
like that's like if you work at the beach, selling the umbrellas. It's like, okay, you buy the water all the time, so you can't really be afraid of water. It's
I
like
mean,
you work in construction, you can't really be afraid of heights.
you
You
should
know what I'm
be
saying? It's like by association.
because she ain't got to go up there. You hit the point on the head. She ain't the one constructed, so she ain't got to be up there. She telling the people to go up there.
True,
So maybe
true.
that's what it is. But I think the point from what you're making is I'm a little surprised at how scared she is. Like, cause construction, it's just a burly job. Like it's just
Mhm,
it's a real physical job. And so someone who's worked in that field, because I'm pretty she didn't start off as the manager, right? So she might
mhm,
have did some of that grounds on hands-on stuff that you are kind of talking about. So even if she
mhm,
didn't do the heights thing, like she had to have had her hands doing something, whatever her hands found to do, she had to do it until she worked her way up. So it's like I would kind of believe that you had some type of,
mhm.
experience that allowed you to just fight through and push through. I didn't think she would be as scared as she was doing that tightrope. across the thing, just
Mhm.
because the field that you're in. Like you dealing with a lot of dangerous stuff already. So I wouldn't assume that you'd be as terrified to do this. But hey,
Yeah,
maybe
come
it's one of her fears
listen.
too.
Come to find out, Becky Lee can respond to this. She can be like, "Baby, I work in the office," so it's like maybe we was wrong the entire time. But it's speaking of like the game and rightness and wrongness,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's time to get into this bag race. This bag race that
Well, before we do that,
yes.
I gotta talk about this because I dang it through my TV, not through the TV, through the remote at the TV. When before she crossed the tightrope, because they was all going across
Mhm.
the tightrope, and she was like, "Oh, that Nick, I just love Nick. I want to see all his dreams come true. Whatever I can do to make his dreams." Are you kidding me? You barely making it up this mountain as it is, and you trying to get something. You trying to push somebody else to their dreams.
Well, I mean, Becky Lee herself said it. She can't even blame Jeannie. Jeannie just Jeannie.
Gene don't know what she
You
doing.
know, j- she is having fun, and that's important.
But we're playing a game, Tim. Like
We are, I know, and I'm with you. We
I
are
can't
playing a
stand
game.
players like that because it's like
Yeah.
this is why they said get her out. She is a
Yep.
liability. That wild, that foolishness, that mentality, that naivety. I cannot play with that. Like you
Hmm.
supposed to be here for yourself and your family, your friends, your whoever. I'm not here for
Hmm.
the next person that's here in this game. That's
Hmm.
not what you're here for. I don't care how best friends, mama, they look like your mama, they look like your son. I don't care who they look like, who they remind you of. They are not them, and it's not who you here to play for. Talking about you want
Hmm.
to see, I just want to see their dreams after the summit. How can I help you after the summit? You want to come to Trader Joe's? I
True.
got you on some groceries. That's how I can make your dreams come true. I'm not gonna help you get this money at no summit.
Okay. It's like if we're making a comparison and it's Trader Joe's and this is the summit, the only thing that I'm gonna do is check you out
Okay,
and get you out this store.
and take your money.
Okay, and take your money and put it in my register.
That
And
part.
next in line, who's gonna be the next person I'm gonna steal this
That's
money from?
it.
And it becomes difficult in a game like that where you do have players who like aren't maybe strategically tapped in, and it's like
Mm-hmm.
you can't strategize around that. Like you
Mm-mm.
can't.
She could
Like
have
I
won
think
this
about
game taking out Nick.
yeah,
If she would have went to Pumpkin and just like, girl, let's girls stick together, let's take Nick out. Boom, they would have get that woman that money at the end. Trust me.
yeah, and who knows? Maybe with what we saw in the preview, it's like maybe Genie is the winner because
She might win.
it's like Jeannie didn't like nobody because she didn't strategize. No shade.
If
Like
this
she was
woman
not.
win this game, Tim, I promise you, I'm gonna throw something and throw somebody because there is no way on New Zealand's snow caps
Yes,
she win this game under no circumstances.
maybe that was her strategy all along. Maybe, hopefully, fingers crossed. Scenarios. She gets at the speech. She gives her speech. If it's a vote, they vote for her, and she's like, "Hi, I got y'all." I made it seem like I was just this mom who didn't know nothing that was going on.
I give it
Little
to
did
her,
y'all know.
but it
I
wasn't
feel
because she ain't
like
tell us.
the chances of that happening, I feel like I'm more likely to find a yellow brick road outside of my house and some red slippers, some red Jordans waiting on me outside. Uh, but yes, because I feel like those red Jordans would come in handy for racing down that yellow road to that
Right
yellow
to
bag
the
that the
yellow
chopper
bag.
dropping off like a house on a lady. Uh,
That foot race was something, huh?
yes, I low key feel like with the scenario, Becky Lee kind of show her cars like a
She
lot.
did.
Like I feel like everybody thought it was going to be big power, especially this late in the game, because
Hmm.
of what Theron just had the chance to do. And it's like for Becky Lee, if I'm in her shoes, it's like worst case scenario, he gets the back, he gets out punking. I didn't
Right.
want that to happen, but it's like okay,
It ain't me.
punking is out of the game. It ain't me, and it's like I feel like she was a little trigger happy for it in that moment, and it's like that was like the thing that set off the radars. It's like if you in Trader Joe's, you the manager, and then
Hmm.
you walking down the aisle and you start to see stuff missing off the shelf. You're like, huh, like, Where did that go?
Right.
Store closed. We ain't even opened up yet.
Right.
And then you start to see
Like, Tim,
sunflower
wasn't
seeds
it
on
your
the
aisle?
ground.
Ain't that your aisle you supposed to be watching? Like, what's going on with the bread? Why the bread missing, Tim?
And next thing you know, you see a trail, and it's like, hey, the trail
Hmm.
leading to somewhere. You find me red-handed, and it's like that's what the scenario it is for Nick in this moment. It's
Mhm.
like that was suspicious. It's very much eyebrow raising.
Facts. And I agree wholeheartedly. I ain't mad at it, but I'm like, girl, she was like, did I just overplay my hand? You did. You
Mhm.
did. You did overplay because, like you mentioned, if you like Nick said it too. I mean, he ain't a dummy. He was like, if we good, you should be okay with me getting this bag. But see, the player of me sometimes is like, it ain't even about you. I want to get to the bag first. I love
Yeah,
you, but can I get to the bag? Because you was running to the bag so quick.
yeah.
I can't
That would have been
be
my excuse.
athletic and go get the bag too, or try to.
Yeah.
Am I not allowed? Is nobody allowed? So it gets into that. That's the nuance in it. It's like, am I not allowed to run for the bag
Mm.
either? Just because my best friend running for the bag too?
Yeah, it's like friendly competition, you
Yeah,
know? It's like I think we all want to be a star. So it's like,
right. That's the
well,
way I would have
I want a
spun it.
power in the game. I
Right.
want to
That's in the
whatever it
confessionals.
is, I want it.
I'm coming to get this power so I can take Nick behind them with this game. In the middle of this running, I'm gonna be laughing like, oh, they beat me. I wanted my family to see me beat you in a foot race. I thought I
Right.
could do it. They was gonna be laughing at me. That's the way you should have spun.
Yeah.
That's what I would have did it. And I would have been
Yes.
laughing and kiki, all type of fake. But you would have never known I was trying to do it to get a power.
And I think what messed her up was her saying, "I think I touched the bag first." Like she was finna fight for it. It's like she was
She was ready to
serious about
tussle.
that. She was roll back the tapes, call me Amy, because we finna race again. We finna do this again. And it's like because of that, I think that's the statement that like made Nick go,
Mhm.
because it's like, all right, you really want it. It's like, why?
Why
You
you want it
know?
that bad?
Yeah.
Hmm.
But
I agree. I think that's
all in
exactly
all,
what it was.
all in all, it's video messages from home, which I love. I thought that was
That's cute.
cute. Not just letters, videos. That was
Yeah.
real cute. I'm wondering, is it an iPad that they just put in bubble wrap? I'm
Like,
like,
I was
seriously.
legit about to say this.
And I'm so
Y'all just
serious.
drop us.
Because that iPad can't defy gravity. It's gonna hit
It
that
can't, and it
snow.
don't.
And snow is hard. Snow is not soft
Impact snow,
like when you're
right?
walking through it. It's like
Mm-hmm.
boom, that's a brick. So I'm like, how do you wrap this up? Is the bag empty and then a producer just come out with an iPad on the side, or I
I
don't know,
don't
but
know.
that's that's
And
that was
I
wild.
think it had an OtterBox case on it, but I'm like, I don't even think an OtterBox can withstand that amount of shock.
Listen, they're gonna need a tiger shark box. They're gonna need something way thicker to hold that
Facts.
on
I
that
don't think
drop.
a life-proof case would help dropping from that far. So I don't know
Mm-mm,
what they did, but whatever it is, the iPad was intact. So or
mhm.
tablet, whatever they had. But that was my first. That's hilarious. That was literally my. I'm like, now wait a minute.
No, for
How
real.
did iPad survive that fall like that? Because I've had a
Listen,
phone not survive a 2 foot drop. Like,
okay.
how in the world? But it is. So
Yeah, they need to let me know what kind of case they got because I need one of them.
hello.
But okay. Um, Beyond that though, it's like I thought the video messages were cute. I don't feel like I
Mm,
have too much to say on those. I think it was really great to see
yeah.
everybody just enjoy their family, just have fun, love it, and everything
Hmm.
overall.
Yeah, it
Mhm.
was really nice to see that little motivation. Everybody said they needed. Like, this is the motivation I needed. This is the motivation I needed.
Mhm.
Okay, I get it. I think it would have been nicer if they would have did it around like at the halfway point, maybe
Yeah. Yeah.
not at the final five. But I
Mhm.
get it. I think that's something they could have did. Maybe they could have did letters at the halfway point and videos
Mm.
at the final four. Something like that. I think that would have been just to add. I'm always for boosting morale for the people, the
Yeah.
players and stuff. Just a teensy weeny bit. But so if y'all
Mhm. I
listening, y'all
agree.
watching, give the people letters halfway point and then just credit us. Actually, if you want ideas, just come to me and Tim. we got plenty of ideas on how to make the summit greater. That's all I say.
Listen, I gotta keep some of my ideas secret because I'll be trying to win games, and if I ever get on the show, it's
We got to
like
win our own
I
money for the show,
you
right?
know, okay, uh, be at my
I
own
didn't
risk.
tell my. You didn't let me tell my secret. Dang, Kim.
It's okay. We're gonna forget. We're gonna forget.
Yes, please forget.
Hopefully nobody listening is your competition. Uh,
Oh man.
but it's time to get into it. The messiness, the beef, the drama of it all,
Hmm.
the scramble. I call it the scramble because that's what was happening.
Hmm. And it wasn't eggs being scrambled either.
It, it was somebody's game being scrambled. Uh, but Nick's name is on the table. Becky
Hmm.
Lee threw it out there. Punk's name was out there. It seems like it's
Hmm.
just gonna be them two. Then Becky Lee
Yeah.
pulled Theron to the side. She like, yeah, it's time to get Nick out. Theron's like, Nick,
Hmm.
when did this happen? And long story short, Theron go right back to Nick with that info, and Nick does not play that.
Mm-mm.
Nick immediately goes straight to Punkin, and it's like, oh, like
Your girl Punk. I mean, your girl Becky Lee.
right, throwing your name out there. And all in all, it's like I think Nick just outplayed Becky Lee at this moment.
Oh
Like I
yeah.
don't think Becky Lee, she low key a little bit outplayed herself, but I think Nick just played a better, like played that move better. Like
Hmm.
using the info that he had against her in a strategic way, especially hearing that his name is out there. And if there's somebody that you working with the whole time, y'all twins, y'all locked in,
Hmm.
it's like he's somebody who knows your game the most or knows your
Right.
secrets and your lives the most to
Hmm.
throw back in your face. That's just like, and I hate when people do this, but it's like if you best friends with somebody and y'all fall out, you better try to stay on that person good side, or like you better like that person got a lot of information on you, knows your secrets, you can confide in this person, went up this summit this entire game with this person, and it's like they know all your tea at that point.
And here's the
So
thing: it wouldn't even have been such a shock if Becky Lee had been running back everything that Nick was saying to Punkin throughout the game.
mm,
That's what she should have been
hmm
doing to safeguard. Like, hey, girl, listen, I'm working with Nick, but I'm playing him. You my girl. I'm trying to make you up to the thing with you. We like all that. Me and you, girls, being me and you, is being me and you. You should have been me and you all the way back down at the beginning of the mountain when you started forming that
mm,
relationship. Because if you would let
hmm
me know that this person is coming for me, because this was all Punkin coming to her. Like, I think Nick is coming for me. I think Nick is coming for me. I don't trust him. I don't trust
yeah,
him. Becky's not confirming anything for her. She did not confirm one time, like, oh, girl, he is. He didn't already told me last night. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? So even if
hmm
she didn't go back all the way through the mountain with what Nick was saying, even if she just went back a day or two, but like when Pumpkin was asking her, like, I don't trust Nick, I think we need to do Nick. And she could have been like, yeah, girl, he coming for you. That he
yeah,
is. He definitely trying to, do something. And so I just don't understand why she didn't do that. But I feel like we said Becky gonna get caught up at the end. We said something gonna happen and she gonna get caught up at the end if she don't do right. And she let Nick outsnake her. She
hmm
did, because you should have listened to Amy. Amy tried to tell you we need to get Nick out. Y'all, I don't know
yep,
what they would have did in the tie. I think if they would have just done it her, if they would have had enough votes, they could have swayed it the other way or
hmm
whatever. I just think that they could have got Nick out instead of Amy. I think they would have had the sway to do it because that's 3 votes. I don't think anybody would have
hmm
wanted to. I love that. I've met Theron in person. I've said this, and I love Theron in person. But I truly believe in that moment at the little fire camp, whatever when Manu's there, Theron would
hmm
not have wanted to go to a tie just in case that may have meant him being in danger. So I think he would just went ahead
hmm
and acquiesced and took Nick out. Truly,
yeah. Yeah,
I
and
do.
I do think that's a big part of it. It's like keeping Nick in means that Nick has Genie. It's like, you don't both have Genie. It's like Genie's not gonna do what everybody want to do. Genie is gonna
Do what
work
Nick
with
want to
Nick.
do, and
At
that's
first it was Dennis for a second, and them getting Dennis out was good for Nick's game because it's like now Genie don't have somebody else that's pulling her sway. Now
yeah.
it's really just Nick. So it's like, and Dennis being out of the game too was like the numbers was just leaving, your side at that point.
And on top of that, too, like even if they feel like they couldn't convince Darren to get rid of Nick, I think he would have got rid of Jeannie at the least.
Yeah.
We would have got rid of Jeannie, and then we would have got to this point where we have Amy, and then now y'all have the control. You, Pumpkin, and Amy at Final Five, y'all could do what you want to do because if you look at it, you put Nick in the proper
Mhm.
position. He has Darren and he has Jeannie. That's the 3 votes all you needed. So she mad at Pumpkin. I ain't voting for you. I mean, personally, I stick up for my people and I'm gonna vote for my people for whoever. I'm always, whether I'm going against the grain or not. But I understand Pumpkin. Why would I sit
Mhm.
here and vote for Nick knowing that I'm going to a final four with 3 people who are close? That's just adding an extra
Mhm.
target on my back, just in case he may see there may be some grace to be found. You never know. Like, there may be some grace, but like, oh well, she could have voted me for her friend, but she didn't.
Mhm.
So maybe that even though we ain't worked closely, maybe this could be somebody, whatever that I may want to say. I don't know. The mount is up tomorrow, the summit tomorrow, so I don't think it was gonna
Yeah.
matter. But I understand that even if Pumpkin would have voted with you, girl, you were still going home. It didn't matter. It was 3-2. It
Yeah.
would have been 3-2.
Yeah. And he really clocked her at the speech. I feel like I knew Becky
Locked
Lee
it
game
down.
was over when she stuttered
Jenny,
for a second.
please, I'm begging you. That's how I knew you should
Oh,
have
listen,
gone.
you said that. I'm like, Jeannie laughing in her face. I'm like, oh my God, like,
Jimmy.
y'all, like, that's tough. I'm like, dang. No, no, seriously though. Jeannie laughing and Becky Lee is so serious.
Right,
Like,
like Jenny,
I'm
please.
like, oh
And Jenny,
my.
oh no, Becky, I just don't know what to do. Girl, you know what you got. That's what okay. I'm sorry. That I don't know what I'm gonna do. You know what you gonna do. I can't stand that. I don't know with that's fake sorry. I don't know what I'm gonna do. It's just so hard. The decision. You already made up your mind. Quit playing.
Mhm,
Oh, Becky should have pushed
mhm.
that out about it.
Yes, but
Cause you
Nick
know
was
what you gonna
like,
do.
yeah, she knew
I
she
wouldn't
was
have went
not gonna
out
vote for Nick.
begging. Is you voting for me or not, Jeannie? That's all I need to know. What? Tell me straight up. You voting for me? Cool, whatever. Let me go out on my high horse. I don't cuss, but Becky cussed, so she could have cussed them all out on her way out. Shoot, just
Low
cuss
key,
them
she
out.
kind of did.
She did a little bit,
She kind of did. She was like, I want to hug y'all, like
and that's real. Cause
the
why would
freak.
y'all just want to be out?
Yeah, but yeah, she was hot. I feel like Nick calling her Dennis 2.0 was the seal of the deal.
Yeah.
I really did enjoy the drama of it all. Like, I really felt in my spirit
Mm-hmm.
when Pumpkin was like, you don't lie to me. Like, that lie to me, this was a real moment, but it was given like Oscar performance. Like, maybe we
Give my
can
girl her Emmy.
have Pumpkin replace, Cynthia Rivos in these plays, because it's like, I know she was being so serious, but it's like, I felt that, that's the
Mhm.
gravity and power of that like
Yeah.
phrase, or like how she said it, and she meant it. And it's like, in that moment, it got so much realer.
Yeah.
We really got to see the climb, both in the tension that we've been seeing through these episodes, but also
Mhm.
in this moment,
It
like
all
in itself
culminated right
being,
there.
yeah, this being a little summit of it all in a sense, and it's like Becky Lee still stood her ground. She tried to make a stand, but
Nick is playing y'all. You think he want this? He gonna do this? I'm like, girl, you should have been saying that all the way, all along. You can't wait to the 11th hour to be trying to expose his game. It's too late because now it look like you just throwing anything at the wall, hoping that it sticks because you got caught. Because if in reality,
mhm,
he's the real Dennis 2.0, if we want to be real. But
yeah,
nobody wanted to listen to Pumpkin. Nobody wanted to listen to Amy. They tried to tell y'all, like, I don't understand. They was trying to tell you, they was trying to warn you, but y'all ain't listen. Y'all was too worried about other folks that you didn't need to be worried about. And now y'all gonna look up and Nick gonna be at the end.
I mean, from what we see, that's true. Uh, One other thing, I'm like, when Manu was like, all right, it's time to vote, y'all. Like, y'all
Yeah,
can cut the talk. But when they were arguing and Manu was like, that's enough. I'm like, no, Manu, that's not enough.
not
Let them
enough.
keep
It's
fighting.
never
Let's
enough.
let's let's turn this 45 minutes into 90 minutes. Like,
Like we can do it. Let's do that.
you
Let's
know,
watch.
let's release the Mountains Keeper edit version of this. Let's see the whole fight. I would enjoy it. I would like to see it.
I would like
I
to
would
see
bring
that
out the
whole
popcorn.
fireside chat for sure. 'Cause I
Yeah.
know it was good.
Mm-hmm. Very, very. But man,
Oh, Becky Lee. Mm, she did it to herself. That's all I can say.
yeah, that's
Nick got
unfortunate.
you, girl. You was worried about Dusty, and you should have been worried about him.
Hmm. Yeah, it's like, if you have somebody back, you can't waver in it, and you know, maybe at this point, Final Five, you just have to pick a side and just like ditch the other side, and it'll be
Yeah,
tough. But it's like, hey, that's the game. I mean, she tried it at the very end, but it just didn't work out. But now it's like Final Four. It
yeah.
looks like it's two duos, kind of, sort of. Theron and Pumpkin, and then Jeannie
Aaron,
and Nick.
I
You
need
know,
you to choose right. I need you. I mean, granted, I don't think it matters when he at the end of the day because it's based on
yeah.
we'll talk about the ending. But I'm like,
Hmm.
in the event that it was gonna end, something like that. Like, I need you to what you said you gonna do, who you gonna stand by because of the connection. That's what I need you to. That needs to be real final two. I needed Pumpkin to be your real final two. That's all I'm gonna say.
Hmm.
That's all I need. That's
Yeah.
all I need.
And I think so. I think so. But we find out in this preview that it's a jury. I'm like, it's a
Mhm,
jury, Lord. I mean, plus is I get to see, we get to see our faves again. We get to see
mhm.
Amy. We get to see uh
Jeff is
Dennis
back.
for me.
Patty's
I
back.
love Dennis. Jeff is back. Patty back.
Mhm.
Bo is back.
Who's back?
Rose. I ain't forget Rose.
Mm,
I don't
Sweater.
know if I saw Sweater. Was Sweater in the preview?
I
I,
didn't
I know
see her.
she there, but I didn't see her.
I didn't see
Maybe
her.
she gonna be there still though. But it's like,
And Dusty was there.
hopefully.
He had a lot to say.
Yeah. Dusty was hot.
Hot.
Yeah. Hot.
Yes. As fish grease.
Okay. As the grease that the turkey was put into.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, but yes, I just see Genie winning this game. I do.
I
If
think
this is
Pumpkin
it, I
can
just see
win.
them.
I really think she
Okay,
can
I can see
win.
that. Yeah. I
I
think
think
so
Pumpkin
too.
can win. I think she can. I think, and this is not just me being biased because I love
Yeah.
Pumpkin. But I think that based on the conversation, because I feel like a lot of people are gonna feel betrayed by
Hmm.
Theron, they're gonna be
Yep.
betrayed or not like the way he played the game, or
Hmm.
they're gonna feel betrayed by Nick because it's all gonna come out,
Oh yeah.
right?
Becky Lee is not gonna let that stay
Oh
under the
no,
cover.
it's gonna come
Yeah.
out. And then Jeannie, like she just flip flopping, she just going along with the flow. Like I feel like anybody
Mm-hmm.
gonna really respect that because ain't like she did Amy. You know how Amy like, girl, we supposed to be the moms.
Yeah.
You just flipped on me like the twice because
Rose.
you flipped on Rose and then you flipped on
Yeah.
Amy. So it's like I think loyalty wise, outside of Becky Lee,
Yeah.
her feeling some way about Pumpkin, I think Pumpkin has a great shot with the jury overall. If I'm looking at a lot of them are seeming to value morals and values and of loyalty and like honesty. I think Pumpkin has been the most honest out of everybody there.
Yeah. And I agree with that. I think if we're looking at this Final Four, somebody else who I think does have a case is Theron. I think if
Yeah.
we're putting it around character, something he showed was like resilience and fortitude. Like he just kept going. And a lot of people witnessed what that journey looked like for him and his fear of
Mhm.
continuing to go. And then he did ruffle some feathers the wrong way. Like I think of some people on, perhaps if this is a jury, some people on this jury who valued those gameplay moments. Like I feel like Dennis
Mhm.
would be one of those people,
Oh
maybe
yeah.
Becky Lee as well. And it's like that is points, and then also him sticking it out, is also a good point. But he did cross some people over, and he straight up just like got him off of the mountain. What's his name?
Dusty. Just sent
Dusty.
him
Yes,
home.
almost said Dennis. Dusty off of the mountain. So yeah, yeah. The only
Yeah.
case for Jeannie is like Jeannie has not crossed nobody, which is
But
like,
she
well,
did. I mean,
she has. Yeah,
yeah.
she has the
Rose
moms,
and the
but it's like,
moms.
yeah,
Like,
outside of them, it's like
and they may bring
she's
it
just
up.
here.
You just using that little mom thing, and the whole time you backstabbing
Mm,
us, like you was planning to backstab us. Was that your whole game? Maybe that's who they were asking. Was that your plan the whole time? Like trying to play the mom card, get sympathy. You know,
mhm.
we gonna see. I think it's gonna be a good finale.
I think so too. I'm ready for it. I'm excited.
I'm
It's been a
excited.
blast.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It
Wow.
is. I think it's gonna be good. I'm feeling.
So yeah, this is their last checkpoint. No more checkpoints. No more bivvies.
No more
But we
babies.
still gonna be on our Bivy Brink next
Will be.
episode
I'm
as we
already on the brink
recap
right
the
now. What you
finale.
mean? I'm on the big brink right now, trying to figure out who gonna win this money.
Listen, we're gonna find out.
My vote is
We're
for
gonna find out.
Pumpkin, unbiased. I think Pumpkin wins the game. Who do you think wins the money?
I can see Pumpkin. I can see Pumpkin. I can also see Theron though. I
Choose
genuinely can
one.
also see Theron.
Stick it
If
in.
I could choose, you go, okay. If I gotta pick one, I do think it's gonna be Pumpkin. I do think it is gonna be
Okay.
Pumpkin though. I do. Of the final four, I do think it will be Pumpkin.
Okay.
Mhm.
Good. I just don't want Nick to win. I'm just gonna put that out there. I'm sorry. I just can't have him win because he done got too full of himself. He think he the kingpin of all kingpins. He gotta get knocked down. Nope. He cannot win this game.
Listen,
And
I
I
got
don't think
2 out of
Jimmy.
my 4 of my final 4 I wanted, so I'm satisfied.
I
You
got
know,
to what we
we need
could
to
have
bring
had.
Amy back, you know, we need to bring Jeff back too, you know,
Mhm.
put them in there. But
Yeah.
I'm satisfied. I'll be satisfied with Theron or Pumpkin winning for
Yeah,
sure.
that would have been my ideal final four. Would have been Pumpkin, Amy, Jeff, and Theron. That would have been Patty too. We gotta have a final
Patty.
five because I
Yeah.
love me some Patty.
Yeah.
Final five. Those
Yeah.
five combination of those five right there, man.
Mhm. And throw
That
Dennis in there for me because I love a villain again.
I didn't mind Dennis. I mean he was a villain, and you know what? He just kept surviving. So I'm like, if he make it, he make it. So we could throw
Mhm.
Dennis in there too. I'll throw Dennis in there because he lasted a lot longer than what he should have.
Mhm. But yes, well, friend, next episode is the finale. But as we wait these long 2 days, where can the people find you?
Whew. Well, the people can find me in multiple places at my personal Instagram, which is rock underscore and underscore Rollerson, or on Twitter. If you're on Twitter at rock in the letter N Rollerson. And then of course you can find my podcast at A Who All Gonna Be There podcast on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to that. But we're also on Twitter and Instagram at A Who All There. And then my personal YouTube channel is The Ear Chronicles. Yes, that's ear as in the ear that's attached to your head. And you can find me there.
Period. And we will find you. Uh I wanted to say as we wrap, shout out again to Silent Podcast. Shout out to A Who All Gonna Be There. You know, shout out to my co-hosts and everybody involved who helps out with this. I will be, as always, on my Instagram at TimSagramB. And you can just click that magic little link that's in my bio, and it's going to take you to many roads where you can find me, some of which are yellow and bricked, to this Emerald City that is all of my social medias. So you can find me there. But in the meantime, we will catch y'all later. And don't let the Mountains Keeper get you.
She's watching.
Peace. She watching.